I just found out that my best friend has been telling all of our friends that my boyfriend tried to cheat on me with her. Originally posted to r/2hottakes on July 17th, 2024. Ellen, 22 female, and I, 21 female, met through an internship 3 years ago and instantly became best friends. About a year ago, I started crushing on George, 24 male, who interns at the same company, but in a different department as us. Ellen and another one of our coworkers set us up last fall and we really hit it off. We've fallen in love and we often talk about a future together. This is where things get messy. From early in our relationship, pretty much as soon as we went from just dating to being official, Ellen has been colder to me. She never made it a secret that she doesn't particularly like George, though she's never said anything direct about it. The only issue she ever raised was when we first got together and he got really sick. I was studying for the MCAT at the time, and I was only about a month out from my main test day when he had a pretty bad flare-up of a chronic illness. Because he knew that Ellen and I were so close, he called her to ask her if she thought he should tell me he was sick or if it would be better to keep it from me so he didn't take me away from my studies. All right, we love a considerate man. Ellen didn't like this at all. She told me she thought it was incredibly inappropriate that he tried to contact her like that, and he shouldn't have called her about something so personal. I thought her reaction was a little over the top, but I talked to George about it and he apologized to her and never called her again, but she didn't let it go. It's a weird hill to die on. I don't think that is completely uncalled for. If George has a pre-existing relationship with your friend Ellen and he wants to ask her advice because as one of her good friends, you should be able to tell him what he should do in a circumstance that he doesn't know how to act because he's brand new. Like, I don't understand what's so inappropriate about that. Am I tripping, chat? I don't think that's inappropriate. I feel like there's something else going on with Ellen. Either she likes George and is extremely jealous, or Ellen might just be preying on OP's downfall. A few weeks later at a party, she made a comment about how I was always choosing George over my friends. My roommate was going to be out of town the next week, so she said she should say her goodbyes, since I would probably just spend the whole week at home with George. She tried to play it off as a joke, but I was really surprised she felt that way. I never wanted to be the kind of girl who turns her back on her friends when she gets into a relationship, and I'd been trying really hard to balance my time with my boyfriend and with my friends, but it seemed she felt neglected. So I started putting more effort into our friendship. Over the next few weeks, I tried to make plans with her at least 5 or 6 times. Every time she came up with some excuse not to see me, even once canceling at the last minute and citing a meeting she forgot about at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning. OP's too good of a person because one of my friends starts talking shit about my relationship like that and acting weird. We're just not gonna be friends anymore. That might be such an asshole thing for me to say, but like there are some friends who being friends with them is exhausting, draining, and 100% not worth it. Like this is a call for anybody listening to really evaluate the friendships that you have and assess whether or not they are helping your lives or hurting, because some of my friends, especially at the age that I'm at, have friendship relationships with people that they feel like obligated to, that I just look at and I'm like, bro, that person makes your life worse. Why do you even have them in your life? And Ellen is 100% one of those people. Why would you go out of your way to spend time with somebody who only has negative things to say about you and your relationship? Which, I mean, so far we don't have a good reason for her to be talking so negatively about it. I don't know, bitch doesn't seem worth it to me, but I was hurt. I knew our friendship was dying, and every time I tried to revive it, she rejected me. Finally, I decided the ball was in her court. If she wanted to be friends, I was open to it, but I was sick of being rejected and she would have to be the one to reach out to me. She never did. Meanwhile, things were deteriorating at work. We had been assigned to the same project for the year, which required working very closely together. As our friendship fell apart, she started ignoring me at work, being rude and short, and making my share of our tasks very difficult for me. I felt like she was constantly breathing down my neck and waiting to catch me in a mistake. I figured she was gossiping about me behind my back, but at this point, I was so exhausted from dealing with her that I couldn't be bothered about it. She would say whatever she wanted to say, and I would just be nice and patient with her and count down the days until our internship ended. Until today, I had lunch with one of our other coworkers and my good friend Kay, 22 male, and he told me everything. Apparently, Ellen has been telling all of our coworkers and friends that George has been trying to cheat on me with her, telling them that he calls her in the middle of the night, sends her inappropriate texts. And when I hosted a party after I wrote the MCAT, he spent the whole night eyeing her. I know that none of this is true. I love George and I know that he loves me. And even as Kay was telling me all of this, I knew that Ellen was lying. It seemed that Kay didn't believe it either. He was just telling me what he had heard. But the thought that she's going around accusing George of infidelity makes me sick. I went straight to George's house and told him everything. I told him I didn't think for even a second that it was true, and the real betrayal is how Ellen made all of this up and spread it around. I was crushed to know that not only did Ellen say all of this, but she'd been saying it to all of my friends for months, and not one of them came to me about it. George helped me get past the hurt stage, and now all I feel is rage. Tomorrow, I'm going to call my supervisor and ask if I can work from home until the end of my contract so that I never have to see Ellen's face again. I feel so betrayed, and I just hate her so much right now. Am I overreacting? Should I be taking the high road and just keep working with Ellen as if I didn't know? I feel betrayed by my other friends too, because Kay thinks they all know what she was saying and not one of them told me. Damn. Should I cut them off the same way I plan to cut Ellen off? First off, Kay's a fucking real one. I mean, girl, I don't understand why you're taking a passive route here. Like, you need to go into HR and tell them that Ellen is spreading rumors about not only you as a coworker, but also George as a coworker. Like, that's just unacceptable. That should not happen in any workspace. Instead of ruining your chances of, number one, maybe getting a full-time job offer from this company, but B, just your general relationship at the office if you're asking to work from home, that's, I'm guessing, maybe not a good look based off of, like, usually those companies that want you coming in every day don't like it when you try to work from home. So, like, yeah, I think, no, you're not overreacting. If anything, I think you're underreacting. You should be going scorched earth right now. Operation Ruin Ellen's Life should be a go, and you should be going full steam ahead. Have George come in and say their piece. Have Kay come in and say their piece. I mean, fuck your other coworkers, but maybe try to work with them and have them come in to say their piece as well. That's what I would be doing, because fuck Ellen, and by God, should Ellen be put in a situation where she should be the one getting fired. I think she would get let go from the internship if she went to HR. Here's the thing. If she did, I feel like she has a case. I think Ellen has a way better chance of getting fired. I guess unless they're not supposed to be dating coworkers, but I'm assuming that that's okay. Is that still a thing, y'all? Like, to me, that maybe makes sense in, like, I don't know, law enforcement or something where emotions can be very detrimental in certain situations. But like, if y'all work in like Target corporate and these motherfuckers are like, you can't date, I would just tell them to suck my cock. That's insane. Cut them all off. Yeah, I agree. All those friends suck. I feel like she has to go to HR. Like, she's literally being defamed right now and slandered. Like, in theory, OP could sue Ellen if she's in the US, because she's literally being defamed and slandered behind her back. We got a couple of relevant comments here. Have you given any thought that what she was saying was true? What did the boyfriend say about it all? Offered to show texts, etc. Obviously playing devil's advocate here, and either way, a real friend would tell you directly about your man acting out, not gossiping. So no judgment on dropping her ass. OP replied, I really don't think it could be true. George has offered a number of times to let me go through his phone, which I've declined because I really do trust him, and we both agree that the accusations are absurd. He's never been anything but completely honest with me. And he's been saying for weeks that I should drop Ellen because he doesn't like the way she's been treating me. I don't want to contact her about it right now because honestly, I'm just so angry. And like you said, if there was any truth to it, and if she was ever my friend at all, she should have come to me about it directly. I also don't think Kay would lie about something like this. He's not the kind of person to make up rumors, and there's no way he would have known that George called Ellen if she hadn't told him, albeit a twisted version. Yeah, no, I think George hasn't done anything to deserve not getting the benefit of the doubt here, and Ellen has actively done things to not deserve the benefit of the doubt in a situation like this. I really do hope she goes to HR though, because like, Ellen shouldn't win in this situation. Update July 8th, 2025, 1 year later. Oh my God, update time. 1 year later, I can't believe that I'm still learning more about all the ways that Ellen tried to ruin my life. I'll start with the good news first. Our internship ended without much fanfare. I didn't, as many comments suggested, contact HR or confront Ellen. Wait, so people were telling her not to confront HR? So the top comment on this is telling her to go to HR, but then the reply is saying that George should really be the one to go to HR because he's the one that she's really defaming here, which actually kind of does make sense. Ooh, someone suggested, does Ellen have feelings for you? That's actually a good point. I didn't even think about that one. Okay, it does look like the comments are telling her to go to HR, but maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. I did contact our direct supervisor and told him that our personal relationship had deteriorated and that it had caused some hostility on her part at work, giving specific examples of issues in the workplace without getting into the weeds of the personal pettiness that was going on. He was incredibly understanding and accommodating. I worked from home the rest of the summer, received a glowing recommendation from him, and got hired at our company in my top choice department, fresh out of my internship, while I finished my degree and applied for medical school. I've been accepted to the top school in my country, and George and I plan on getting married once I finish my studies. Our relationship is stronger than ever. Ellen moved abroad, but stayed very well connected to the friend group that we had formed through the internship. After what happened last year, I slowly began to distance myself from that group, and as I did, I realized that I had outgrown a lot of them anyways. Once I began to see the cracks in the friendships I used to surround myself with, I couldn't unsee all the ways they could be unkind, immature, and toxic to themselves and to one another. I held on to the few people that I knew had my back and came out of the internship with a handful of good, close friends, rather than a big circle of people with shady tendencies. One good friend from the internship, Alice, 22 female, had been close with Ellen about a year ago and has since told me a lot more of the things Ellen said behind my back, partially corroborating Kay's story from the last year and adding details to some of the craziest parts. Apparently, to give herself more credibility, Ellen had been telling people that she'd been in touch with my roommate and friend of 11 years, Anna, 22 female. Ellen said that Anna also didn't like George and that Anna told her I spent way too much time with him, was neglecting all my friends, that he basically lives at our apartment, and that I always do this when I get into a relationship. She also told people that Anna thinks George is faking his chronic illness and that I'd been using it as an excuse to blow off my friends. Once when George was at our apartment and had a flare-up, I'd had to cancel my plans to stay with him, afraid that he might need me to take him to the hospital. Ellen told everyone that Anna said he didn't seem sick and that I'd only canceled because I felt like staying home and hanging out with him. Bro, what is this like Mean Girls high school shit, dog? Y'all are 22 and 21. I guess y'all are still kind of young and immature, but like, I don't know. When I was college age, I didn't give a fuck about drama or gossiping about anybody else. I just wanted to get drunk with my friends. Like, come on, Ellen, let's not be a boner. When Alice told me all of this, I immediately confronted Anna and told her everything. Although Anna and Ellen had been in touch on and off over the past few years, in parentheses, I'd previously introduced them to one another and they had some mutual interests that they'd occasionally text about. Anna assured me that she said none of the things Ellen accused her of and even combed back through all of her messages to see if there was anything she'd said that might have implied anything like that. In going through Anna's messages with Ellen, we noticed a pattern. It seemed that anytime I told Ellen I wasn't available, she texted Anna to ask if I was with George. This went back to almost the beginning of my relationship with him. Okay, bro, that comment talking about how Ellen might be into OP, I feel like that might be real high key. At no point should you be this obsessed with somebody. Like romantically, I could maybe understand, but even that I think is unhealthy. As a friend, weird. This has to be some sort of I want to be dating OP type beat. This whole paragraph's in parentheses. For those running to the comments to ask why Anna didn't tell me this sooner. It didn't strike Anna as bizarre until we looked through the messages after hearing the accusations. I have a bad habit of letting my phone die, so sometimes if someone really needs to get in touch with me, they'll contact Anna or George. So in itself, Ellen texting her to ask where I was wasn't out of the ordinary. Ellen texting her to see if I was specifically with George, combined with what Ellen was claiming Anna told her, is the strange part. Coming out the other side of all of this, I've been trying really hard to reflect and learn from the situation. Was I a perfect friend to Ellen? Definitely not. I think there were certainly times at the beginning when I was first dating George and studying for the MCAT that I was distant with her. Maybe I should have tried harder to patch up our friendship in those early days by confronting her directly, or maybe I should have been more in tune to how she was feeling and addressed it sooner. Despite everything, I do miss her a lot, and I wish things had turned out differently. Okay, but here's the thing, y'all, is you can always give people, friends, whatever, more attention, but like a good friend isn't going to be an annoying asshole about it. Like a good friend, especially when you're in your early 20s, understands like we're becoming adults. We have jobs, we have school, we have relationships. You cannot be the center of Ellen's universe, and she has no right to demand that. So like, yeah, sure, maybe you could have done more, but that doesn't mean that A, she was entitled to it, and B, I don't think it justifies any of the shitty stuff that she was doing. Nor do I think that if you had done all that stuff, it would have prevented it. I think she would have been a fucking mean girl straight out of a high school movie, regardless if you had given her attention or not. But I don't think she was fair to me either. If I had withdrawn a little bit into my relationship in its early stages, she should have given me some grace and confronted me directly when she had a problem rather than going behind my back. She absolutely should have not tried to drag my name through the mud, made things difficult at work, or, worst of all, tried to destroy George's and Anna's reputations and relationships. I recently heard that Ellen is moving back to the city and tried to get a job at the company where we interned, but she was rejected by every department she applied to. Am I a bad person for feeling a little vindicated? No, and I would venture to guess that your complaint was probably not the only complaint that she got if she's getting rejected that hardcore. Or maybe her work just sucked. Thanks everyone for your comments last year. I really needed that support, but now I'm just looking for any lessons to be learned. Could I have done anything differently? What can I take away from this to try and be a better friend in the future? I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm a bad friend, but I just truly think real friends will understand that you got other shit going on. The ongoing joke with me and my friends is like, I sometimes just don't respond to text messages. I get a ton of messages every day. With everything that I do, I'm always on my phone. Unless it's like pertinent or important to what we're doing or something that we need to plan, like I will sometimes just let it fall down the line. And like my friends will joke about it, but none of them take it personally. They're like, oh yeah, we know you're busy. You got shit to do. And they do it to me too, bro. My two best friends in the world, we probably talk 2 or 3 times a month. They will be standing next to me when I get married. We barely talk because we all have lives. We're all doing things. Like, I just think it's like really ridiculous to think that you're entitled to someone's time more than they can offer to you. And if it's not a time that you think is adequate, go find somebody who's going to give you that time. Like, I don't know. For me, my advice to OP is just like, find somebody who's not so demanding of your time. Find somebody who wants to hang out like once a week, and that's good for them. And that's good for you. And you can spend the rest of your time hanging out with George and focusing on your career, which by the way, if nobody was picking it up, she's trying to become a doctor, which isn't easy. It's very time consuming. Like the fact that Ellen was like, oh, you spend too much time. You don't hang out with me enough. Like, yeah, no shit. She has a brand new boyfriend and she's trying to become a doctor. Of course she's not going to spend that much time with you. Are we fucking stupid? Some people are just more clingy too. Some people like that shit. Honestly, y'all, the only person I think I could handle being like super clingy is Kathy and a girl that I'm dating. Like Kathy just loves being able to speak to her kids, and it's something that at first used to piss me the fuck off when I was in college. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of understood like my mom very much prides herself on like raising great kids, and it's hard for her that we all are off doing our own thing and not like there to talk to her all the time. So when she acts clingy, I kind of just have to take a deep breath and be like, you know what? Like, she raised me. I'm in the position that I'm in because of Kathy. Like, I can fucking deal with that. And then yeah, I think when I'm with somebody and I really care about them, I don't care how clingy they are. I'm slightly clingy when I'm dating someone, but friends, no way. That's how I feel too, you know? And I feel like in a relationship, duh, you're gonna be clingy, bro. Especially at the beginning. If you're not at least like somewhat on top and like really interested in talking and spending time with the person, like that's a normal reaction.